What's up, everybody? You're tuned in to the Cris
Mo.
podcast, episode 68, TakeOver Wednesdays. Hope everybody's having a good night. Whether you're at work, you're off at home, relaxing, everybody's having a good night. We got a lot of things to talk about. So, without further ado, let's get to it. And we are back. Cris podcast, episode 68, TakeOver Wednesdays. What's going on, Ma? How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm good, man. I can't complain, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Can't complain myself.
Mm.
Man, glad I'm just off work today. It's a long,
Mm-hmm.
boring day. So, made it through it.
No doubt, no doubt. A couple more days left to go in the week.
hmm So, all right, man, let's talk about it, man. The Women's Elite Eight recap.
Mm-hmm.
It was two games on Monday, the big games, not no disrespect to the other games, South Carolina, them taking care of business, NC State taking care of business. But we had Iowa versus LSU. That was the big matchup. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the later game, the USC and UConn game. Yeah, Paige Beckers versus Juju Watkins,
Mm-hmm.
the freshman phenom.
Mm-hmm.
Which one you want to start with? You want to start with the big Iowa and LSU? You want to go with USC and UConn?
No, we can start with the first game, Iowa versus LSU.
Iowa ended up beating LSU 94-87. It was everything that all the hype that it lived up to. It
Mm-hmm.
was a back and forth. 1 minute LSU, or at 1 minute Iowa looked like they was going to have the upper hand in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Then the shooting started getting cold. Angel Reese started getting a little hot in the paint. Then
Mm-hmm.
they started coming back and building the lead. Of course, we got a tie game at the half, just how you want it. And then the second half, it was just more so just Caitlin Clark doing what she do, taking over the game, showing that she's a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to give Angel Reese no excuses, but I do think that the little leg injury, the ankle injury, kind of slowed her down a little bit. You
Mm-hmm.
could tell in the second half she wasn't as agile and moving around like she was in that first half.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to Iowa. It wasn't just Caitlin Clark, although she scored 41 points. Kate
Mm-hmm.
Martin and Sydney. I don't know. I'm not going to butcher this lady's last name,
Yeah.
but they had 21. The other girl, the Sydney girl, had 16 points,
Mm-hmm.
and that was always the talk about Iowa. We all know Caitlin Clark's going to get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But can the other girls on her team provide some help on their end? Can somebody else score and be a scorer for them? Because Caitlin Clark can't do it by herself. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but they end up scoring 21. And I would say the name of this game was no defensive adjustments by LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like, I don't know what Kim, was her name, Malarkey,
Kim Mulkey.
Moki.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what she was thinking, but it was like she just lived and died by, Haley. And look, I don't want to condemn the girl. She's a young girl. I don't like condemning the kids like that. But Haley Van Leith, she was not. She couldn't handle Caitlin Clark. It was bad. And there was no rotation from the screens. And Haley's a smaller girl, so it was like they knew that, so they would put the bigger, of course they have a forward come out or a center come out, put a body on her, give Caitlin Clark some space, and she'll pop that three. And
Mm-hmm.
there was nobody, to rotate. There was no double teaming. I felt like they should have put all in contain, at least contain
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin Clark. If you
Yeah.
could live with, if Kate Martin and Sydney was still getting off like they did and they beat you, then okay.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying? You can't let Caitlin Clark go off for 41 points and then wait 4 minutes into the fourth quarter to say, okay, I'm gonna put Flosia on her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you saw a little bit of the difference when she guard her. You know what I'm saying? If they put a bigger guard, even the backup guard, I'm sorry, I don't know the young lady's name, but the backup guard was even doing a lot better
Mm-hmm.
against Caitlin Clark. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I just feel like LSU didn't make a lot of defensive adjustments. But hey, shout out to Iowa. They took advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin Clark, she went off for 41 points. Like I said, Kate Martin had 21. Sydney Girl had 16 points. Angel Reese, she had 18 points. And the Monroe chick, I think she had like 16 or 17 points.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, shout out to Iowa. They're going to the Final Four, and LSU's going home.
Yeah, nah, I agree with you. I think with Iowa, they were just, I talked about it, like, that night, just on the Monday podcast where I was just like, Caitlin Clark's gonna need help. Like they're gonna need to be able to hit the three,
Hmm.
just like they did the last game, and they were able to do that. She got help. As you said, she had one of her teammates got 21, the other one got 16. Their starting center. I forgot her name. She got in foul trouble pretty early, so she was out. So LSU had advantages. As far as the boards, the thing with Iowa is like Iowa is a very small team, so you can take advantage on them on the boards. You know what I mean? So that's how I thought the game was going to get played off. But unfortunately, with Iowa, they were able to hit the threes. You know what I mean? It spread it out the floor. I agree with you. Kim Mulkey didn't do anything as far as like, changing anything on the defensive side, trapping her, pressing her. I don't know why Floje wasn't on her for the majority of the game. I think Floje should have, been guarding her majority of the game. Try to, the moment she passes half court, I think they should have tried to trap her. You know, full court presser, try to wear her out, you know what I mean? And just kind of live with her teammates. If you're gonna lose with the teammates, I'd rather, die by that than, having Caitlin Clark going for 41. Like she pretty much controlled the whole moment of the game. I thought the transition defense from LSU was pathetic. They were just, you had Caitlin Clark just throwing easy, wide open passes to the transition player, and they're just getting wide open layups after wide open layups. So, watching that was pretty annoying. Watching Kim Mulkey not try to do any kind of adjustments on the defensive side was really annoying. But overall, man, you got to take it. You got to give a shout out, and you got to tip your cap off to Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean? She totally dominated the game. She would just pull up 30 foot point, 30 feet, 3-point shots. She was hitting those at the time. You know what I mean? I think she gets a little too comfortable with those long range threes. I think sooner or later in this tournament, it's gonna bite them in the ass. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be a game where they don't hit these threes. Her, shooting these 30-foot jump shots. It's not gonna come as easy. You got the last three teams are left in the Final Four along with them, man. They're going to be some tough defensive teams. So, but shout out to them. Shout out to Angel Reese, man. She had a hell of a career. She announced that she's going to the WNBA. I know a lot of people were kind of getting on her about her press conference, where she was kind of like talking about how, she's been vilified, and all that type of stuff. And at the end of the day, man, all you can do is, tell her, hold her head up high. You got a promising career in your future in the WNBA. I know she's gonna be a top 10 draft pick. And shout out to those ladies, man. LSU will be back. I could go on. I really want to go in on Van Lith, but I'm not gonna. I'm not going to. I think a lot of people on Twitter got her got put a lot of heat on her, man. She did not play well at all. The only thing I can say this, I think she needs to find her confidence back. You know,
Hmm.
seems like she left Louisville. I don't know if she was just kind of struggling, trying to find her role within the offense.
Yeah,
You could tell she was kind of like you could tell it seemed like she wanted to try to prove something because I like at first she in the beginning of the game she shot and hit her first three and you could tell she seemed very excited. I think the last game she didn't even score a bucket last game. So you know I kind of feel like maybe that might have got her going, but you know she was getting lost on the defensive side. She wasn't hitting her shots. You know she turned the ball over consistently. I really, hopefully, with, maybe with Angel Reese gone, I'm not saying she was the cause of it, but, maybe it might just help her knowing that she's going to be a more prominent role on the offensive side, especially with Angel Reese gone. And, maybe she can get the confidence back because Shorty was balling when she was with Louisville. You know what I mean? She was putting up some really good numbers. So, so hopefully she'll be able to find her swag back and, get back to what she's known for, which is scoring. You know what I mean? I know she can score. So, but again, shout out to both teams, man. Shout out to both ladies, man. Shout out to Angel Reese for a hell of a college career. I'm very excited to see her in the WNBA. And then, I'm excited to see Kaylin Clark, continue playing and, got a big matchup with UConn.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, shout out to them. And then we go to the second game. We got UConn, uh, who faced USC. Like I said, Paige Beckers versus Juju Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
UConn ended up winning 80-73.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this game was interesting because it was fast paced. It was up and down.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like at the beginning USC kind of had the upper hand a little bit,
Yeah.
uh, but then it just I don't know. UConn just kind of started getting to the flow. Paige started getting to her flow. Um, Aaliyah Edwards, the forward or center, she
Mm-hmm.
started getting in, getting in the paint, getting her buckets. And it
Mm-hmm.
just seemed like USC. I don't know. Juju Watkins, she had a pretty good game. She had 29 points. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just seemed like whenever she would like try to take over, it would just get derailed. Like,
Yeah.
and then the point, I think her name is Mackenzie Forbes. It was a lot of times she would just dribble, and just
Mm-hmm.
shoot the three. Now she was hitting them for the
Yeah.
most part, but it was just like
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of like the game plan. It was like
Mm-hmm.
dribble, shoot the three, and then they were just so 3-point reliant.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the USC should have used their size more. Them some big girls over there, like
Yeah. Yeah.
including Juju. Juju's what
Yeah.
6'2".
Yeah.
The other girls, I think they're like 6'3", 6'4". Like they got size over there. And I just thought
Mm-hmm.
they were the bigger team, other than
Mm-hmm.
the Aaliyah Edwards girl who was towering over everybody. But I thought they should have used their size more. They should have slowed the game down a little bit more. I know
Mm-hmm.
that's USC's game up and down the court, but
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have slowed it down a little bit more, banged in the paint a little bit more. And then, if you get somebody open on the wing or on the top of the key to three, that's cool. And
Mm-hmm.
then, I know Juju's a freshman. You know what I'm saying? She's going to learn from this. Um, she got to know when to turn it on. You know what I'm saying? When you the star player. And when it's big games like this, you got to take over. When stuff ain't working, because it just seemed like USC couldn't buy a bucket in that second half. It was just
Mm-hmm.
like they was shooting. It wasn't like they were shooting bad shots. It was just it was not going in, and everything UConn shot was going in. It was like
Yeah.
as soon as they would get it, they would get close and they would cut the lead down, and you would think, okay, here comes USC. They break because they was even tied at the half, and then it was just like UConn just kept pulling away, and then the lead would get close, and then UConn would pop a couple shots and get the momentum back, and it just the momentum was never in USC's favor. But shout out to Paige Buchers. Like I said, she balled out. She
Yeah.
did. And Aaliyah Edwards, she balled out too. Juju had a good game. Like I said, she had 29. Mackenzie Forbes had 24 points. And shout out to Juju. She broke a record, D1 scoring record. She broke the record. I think she had 900 something points.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to her. She has a great career ahead of her. I think, USC will try to put some more 5-star, 4-star players around her to, I'm sure some people are going to hit the transfer portal. Girls want to go play with her in LA. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, shout out to her. But Paige, we're getting Paige and Caitlin Clark, and that's pretty much what people want to see, because Paige was Caitlin Clark before all the injuries and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna get it.
yeah. Nah, I thought with this matchup, I think you kind of saw the elite coaching from Gino
Hmm.
Auriemma.
Yeah.
The Gino Auriemma made it very, very difficult for Juju.
Hmm.
Something that Kim Mulkey, the game plan that Gino Auriemma did should have been on Caitlin. You're gonna see Gino Auriemma coach against Caitlin when that matchup happens on Friday night. You're gonna see the different styles of defense, the different traps, the different, trying to cut the pace down a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Caitlin and Iowa, they love that fast pace. Juju, she loves that fast pace. Juju will be fine.
Yeah.
I think, as you said, she's a freshman. She's gonna learn from this. She's gonna grow. She's gonna learn how to adapt. She's gonna learn how to play through the different defenses. Learn how to get her teammates more involved. Finding
Hmm.
different ways to go to her sweet spot, and being able to score. She'll be perfectly fine. Shouts out to UConn though. Those ladies are running on a five, maybe six woman rotation.
Hmm.
So they're playing very smart ball. They're making sure they're not in foul trouble, so where it can jeopardize their rotation. Paige is playing amazing. I'm loving that she's finally healthy. We're finally able to see her talent. Like, she's on the same tier, same level as the Caitlin Clark, a Juju Watkins. She's an amazing, amazing, amazing college basketball player. So that matchup, I wouldn't be surprised if she wants to have that matchup against Caitlin Clark and try to defend her. She's a really good defensive player, and at the same time, she's going to force Caitlin Clark to guard her. You know what I mean? So that also can wear out Caitlin Clark. That's one thing. Not to get away from this game, but that's another thing that kind of irritates me, seeing certain I, I guess so far in this tournament, no one has really tried to make Caitlin Clark defend. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
She's liable on the defensive side. I don't consider her a great defensive player. They hide her on the defensive side, and no one has really taken advantage of that. I'm surprised LSU did not try to take advantage of that by doing pick and rolls with Flage and her defender, and try to get Flage on her and get her in foul trouble. I don't know why no one has taken advantage of that, but hopefully we will start seeing that. And I know when people are hearing this, they think I don't like Caitlin Clark. Like, look, I respect the girl's talent. I just think that people overhype her to a degree, in the sense of like calling her the greatest thing since sliced bread, that we've never seen this before. I've said it, but time and time again, I totally disagree with that sentiment. But back to the UConn USC game. Yeah, I just think Gino Auriemma just coach circles around the other coach over at USC. I apologize, I don't know the lady's name. I'm not saying she's a bad coach at all, but Gino, he has mad chips, man. He proved that he's will always be the greatest women's coach of all time. I know Don Staley is the best coach right now, but Gino Auriemma is the best women's coach of all time, just based on
Hmm.
his allure, his accomplishments, and all that. So it'll be a great learning tool for USC. I agree with you. There'll be tons of players that want to come play for Juju. USC is a great school. You're in LA. She's gonna be amazing. I don't see her. I don't really see her going in the transfer portal, but you never know. You see a lot of players, swap teams out, right now. So, but shout out to Juju, man. Hell of a freshman year. She had one of the best freshman years ever, and I'm only more excited to see her and how her development goes into the off season and gets ready for next year. I'm definitely assuming if she stays at USC, they'll definitely be one of the top 3 teams going into the year. So, so shout out to her. Shout out to UConn for playing an amazing game, and definitely excited to see that UConn Iowa matchup. Um, those two head coaches, the different styles of play. I'm very excited to see that Friday night.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to the ladies, man, for putting on this weekend. We got still got a lot. I mean, a couple more games left, and I'm sure there's going to be a show. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
shout out to them. All right, man, let's talk about football, man. It's a big trade that happened today.
Hmm.
Um, Stefon Diggs, Mr.
Yeah.
The more polarizing wide receivers in the league for the
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo Bills, got traded to the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans have been stacking up this offseason because they see that they got a star over there in CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been stacking up on their defense. Got Danielle Hunter. They went traded for Joe Mixon. Yeah, they just been stacking up. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And they go against Stefon Diggs in a trade, and the Buffalo Bills had to trade Stefon Diggs and a fifth and a sixth round pick,
Mm-hmm.
and they get 31 million in dead cap money because he's a post June cut or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, post June trade, whatever this stuff is, and then they get a second round pick for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, what are your thoughts on this trade? Who's the winner and who's the loser?
Well, I think definitely the winner is the Texans, losers is the Bills. Am I surprised by the trade?
No.
No, because we all kind of figured that sooner or later Stefon Diggs wasn't going to be part of the Bills. Um, I'm just more surprised at the compensation of it. To the point of the Bills only got a second round 2025 pick. They didn't even get this year's second round. They got next year's second round. Uh, and then on top of that, you gave up a fifth and a sixth round. And plus on that, you have a 30 million dead cap hit. Uh, so it's gonna make it even harder for you to try to find a replacement. As far as if you wanted to try to go get a T Higgins, if you wanted to try to go trade for a Brandon Ayuk, it's just gonna make it even harder for you to try to get that money to work. Um, so pretty much it makes it feel like your only option is through the draft. So maybe they might trade up and get maybe a Brian Thomas, maybe a AD Mitchell. Um, maybe they go Xavier Worthy or something. I'm assuming it'll probably be one of those two, as far as like AD Mitchell and Brian Thomas. Um, at 28, I guess you could still kind of get maybe like a Keon Coleman or something like that, but that doesn't really solve anything for me. Like, he's a big receiver, but he doesn't really have the same skill set as the Stefon Diggs for me.
Mhm.
I still think they need at least two more receivers. The Bills have lost a lot of players on that defensive end. Von Miller's getting older. I feel like the offensive line is still can be a little bit better. I like James Cook, but obviously he's gonna probably get a lot more touches within this offense. I know one of our partners here at where we work at, he kind of brought up maybe the possibility of Josh Allen getting traded. I don't really see that as being a possibility, unless Josh Allen asks for the trade. But
Yeah.
I don't see Josh Allen asking for the trade.
No.
Um, because if the Bills were willing to do something like that, I think the GM would need to move out of Buffalo as fast as possible, because Bills Mafia will probably hunt him down faster than what the U.S. government did with Osama bin Laden. Like, it would be
Jeez.
on that type of mission with the Buffalo Bills fans. Um, but overall, I think with the Texans, man, the Texans got one of the best receivers when he's motivated to play. You got
Hmm.
Stefon Diggs, you got Tank Dell, you got Nico Collins. Hell, Nico Collins had over 1,200 yards last year. Tank Dell was on his way to get that before he got hurt. Obviously, before the playoffs and all that. Um,
Hmm.
you got Dalton Schultz. They just got James Mixon. They got Daniel Hunter from the Vikings over on for free agency. You got Okuda. He pretty solid cornerback. And that's not including already having Will Anderson and stuff like that. So this team, man, the Texans, man, you gotta look. Obviously, they're the best team in Texas right now. They're better than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You can honestly even put them maybe being ahead of the Baltimore Ravens. Me and you even talked about it. I'm not really a big fan of the Derrick Henry to the Ravens situation, because I just don't think I just think I think Saquon was the better fit for the Ravens, but I get it. They wanted somebody, to kind of, help out with Lamar Jackson. I still think they need another receiver. They lost a couple pieces on the defensive side. So you can kind of say the Texans are the second best team. Obviously you're gonna have the Chiefs number one coming off the Super Bowl championship. Even though I believe they're going through their own little issues and turmoils as well. But you have to put the Chiefs there at number one. I think you could easily put the Texans number two for me.
On paper, yeah. On
On
paper, yeah.
paper, yeah, you know what I mean. But with CJ Stroud, he's going to get better. D'Amico Ryans is going to get that defense in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I think even on paper, but in reality, man, it's a really strong possibility. This could be the second best team in the AFC and have a really, really strong chance to compete for a championship already. You know what I mean? So, you know, shouts out to them. Bills are done. They're in rebuilding mode. This is going to really kind of show what Josh Allen's really about. This is going to really show what kind of tier of a quarterback he is. Is he on the same tier as a Patrick Mahomes and a Joe Burrow, or could it be on the same tier as like a Dak Prescott? I don't think that, but we're going to find out here because he's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders to try to prove because he's not going to have the talent around him. And if you're going to be always compared to that same tier as like a Patrick Mahomes didn't have receivers, was able to elevate them and get them to a Super Bowl. So if you want to be considered at that same, if you want to sit at that same table as him, you're going to have to be able to produce no matter what the situation is going on in Buffalo. So we're going to find out real quick how really great Josh Allen really is going to be.
Yeah, I agree. Um, the Texans definitely won this trade. You say Bill for
Good for
Bill.
Bills. Josh Allen be gone in 1 to 2 years at most.
We'll see. Um, the thing about it is, they're gonna have to change their philosophies on offense. Like you said, they're gonna have to be more James Cook centric. Two tight end set. Knox and Dalton Kincaid will be the focal point. Now it
Mm-hmm.
will be interesting what they do at wide receiver. Will they bring in another veteran? They do have Curtis Samuels. They got Khalil Shakur. Do they bring one more veteran in, or do they rely on a rookie wide receiver? Will they trade up and go try to get a Brian Thomas Jr.? Will they trade up and try to go get maybe a Romeo Dunza, or will they sit pat and maybe hope for Xavier Worthy to drop to him, or
Mm-hmm.
an AD Mitchell? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Or in the second round, do they get Keon Coleman or somebody like that? You know what I'm saying? Lad Conkley or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely do think they're going to get a wide receiver. That's going to be their first pick, definitely
Mm-hmm.
off top.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
But he has to be somebody who's explosive, somebody who can make plays for them, for sure, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's why I think they're going to go up and try to get like a Brian Thomas Jr. Personally, I think that's what they're going to try to go get. Um, Maybe even Xavier Worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, they're gonna have to change their philosophy. They're definitely taking it. This definitely puts a hit on them. I don't know how this defense is going because it's not just the Stefon Diggs thing. It's all the players that they have lost
Mm-hmm.
in this offseason. You know, was it Travarius White, Poyer,
Mm-hmm.
Hyde. Um, did
Lost
my
one of their linebackers, I think.
did Matt Milano leave?
I think he left. I think he did.
But he's hurt anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, they've lost a whole bunch of players. You're getting a Von Miller that's 2 years removed from an ACL tear. He's like what 36 now.
Yeah.
Like we
Mm-hmm.
don't even know if he's ever gonna. It's slim chance for him returning to form. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You're hoping that he can get 75, 80% of Von Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just they're gonna have to have a great draft. They are. They're gonna have to have a great draft to add more pieces to this offense and this defense. Get younger. I think they might take a year step back. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I think they take a year step back, and then next year, you know what I'm saying, they try to come back and be a force. You know what I'm saying in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But I do think they're third in their division now. Um, I think Miami probably will probably be the number one. You could argue the Jets, depending on Aaron Rodgers, um, because that defense is still elite over there.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it depends on Aaron Rodgers. Can he be healthy? You know, how is he going to look off of Achilles tear um, from one year? You know, 1 year later. You know,
Yeah.
this this revolutionized surgery that he got. You know, he got
Yeah,
a whole different type of surgery. So
no doubt.
we'll, we'll see how that looks.
Yeah,
So
I can honestly see it. Also seeing maybe Odell, maybe I think this might be a good spot for him in the sense of, he wants to keep proving that he's still a top legit receiver.
mhm,
So why not go here? You know what I mean? Now you're gonna get more reps. You're gonna, you could potentially be a number one depending on what they do in the draft.
mhm.
Obviously, this is definitely gonna be a more tight end heavy running game heavy style offense.
That's why he might
Um,
not go there.
Nah, but they're gonna have to though. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to play off a play action pass. They're gonna
Yeah,
have to. If they're smart, they would. I think James Cook is more than capable of
yeah,
producing.
he showed
Uh,
it.
what I mean, he showed it. So now, will they be smart enough to do it? That's the other question. I don't know. Will they do it? I think they're gonna always. I think they always will be in love with Josh Allen's arm. But in this situation, depending on what you can possibly do in the draft and also in free agency with what's left as far as like players and receivers that are available, um, we're gonna have to find out. I agree with you. I think the Bills are probably the third best team from in their division. I think the Patriots are easily going to be the fourth best, but you never know with the Patriots, man. They might surprise. It's gonna be a struggle for the Bills, man. I really don't see 8 wins coming from this team. I really don't. So obviously with the schedules, I'm sure we'll have our episode where we kind of predict the records for each team.
Hmm.
Probably after the draft here. At the end of the day, man, this trade, I understand we all knew this was going to happen, but this trade still doesn't make sense to me. For on their end, I think there could have been, maybe they could have waited a little bit longer, maybe a little bit closer to draft time during the draft, and maybe they could have got better compensation. Maybe try to use Stefon Diggs to move up in the draft for a specific receiver to replace him with. Um, I don't know. It just makes it a little bit more difficult for them, me personally. But we'll see here. We'll see here, and we'll see. I agree with you. They're gonna have to be fucking perfect in the draft for them to have any kind of hope into continually being in the conversation of being Super Bowl contenders. Because at this moment in time, they're in rebuilding mode. You know what I mean? And as far as like the Josh Allen maybe being a Cowboy in a year or two or whatever, honestly, as I told my homie at work, I don't see anything happening this year. I think Josh Allen's gonna stick now. Now, if it gets really bad to the point where they're like, winning 3-4 games, which I don't see that even in the state that they're in. Josh Allen is
No.
just too good for them not to do that. Or if he's just miserable in Buffalo, if anything's gonna happen with a Josh Allen trade, I think it will be a year down the line. I
Mm.
think he'll give it a chance with just being there, and then if
And
it
even
don't,
before, he gets traded, I just think it'd be more so them, the ownership and the GM, maybe, and maybe they get rid of the GM, but let's just say they keep Brandon Bean, and they send Brandon Bean say, "Look, I'll bring in an offensive minded head coach for you to be better." You know what I'm saying? Maybe Dayball doesn't do good in New York, and they bring
try to bring him
Dayball
back.
back.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
because
I'm saying?
he's on the hot seat this year. So,
You know.
I wouldn't be that wouldn't be surprising if he were to get fired and then Brian Dable is available. So
Mhm.
that might be a situation. I think it will be a collab thing if that Josh Allen thing were to get traded. I
Mhm.
think it has to be something that Josh Allen initiates because there's no chance in hell that I believe the Buffalo Bills would ever part ways with Josh Allen. It took
No.
them this long just to replace Jim Kelly. They're not going through that kind of situation again.
Mhm.
Now,
They
yeah,
will overpay this.
yeah,
They will make him the highest paid
100%,
quarterback in the league.
100%, yeah. It has to come from Josh Allen if he's going to get traded. I don't know. I don't know what is in this man's heart. I don't know how he's feeling right now. Um,
You
I
don't
don't.
know a person, but
You don't know.
he just doesn't come off as the trade me type
He
guy.
doesn't seem like it to me either. But at the end of the day, we don't know this man. We don't
Yeah.
know. One day he might just say, "Fuck it, I don't want to deal with this no more." We're just heading down a rabbit hole I don't want to deal with, and I don't want my
Mhm.
career to. I don't want to wait 3-4 years to try to, rebuild this team. They still got, they're in cap hell right now. They don't have no financial flexibility. It's not like they're, drowning in picks or anything like that. So it's gonna be a long rebuild, man. You know what I mean? Now, does he want to go through that? That's up to him. Only time will tell if he wants to go through that. But it's gonna be interesting for the Bills, man. It's really gonna be a very interesting time for Bills Mafia. Like, it's not looking really promising at this particular time for that team, even though they do have a franchise style quarterback. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's talk about Bronny James.
Mm.
He
Mm-hmm.
is entering the transfer portal. I don't know how you feel, but this was kind of a surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I don't know where he will go. Some people are speculating maybe Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. Where do you think he would end up going?
I was honestly shocked about this. You know what I mean? I'm surprised he's considered leaving LA. I figured he was comfortable there, being close to his family, you know. But maybe this is him wanting to, be his own man and go his own route.
Mhm.
We'll see. I think there's going to be a slew of college teams wanting him to be a part of the squad. I think Bronny James is going to be a really good player. I know his stats really didn't really show that this year, but people got to remember, man, this man's heart stopped not even 6-7 months ago. You know what I mean? So, God bless he was able to, play this year. I didn't even think he was going to play this year, but
Yeah.
God bless he was able to play this year and get some reps under his belt, get his freshman year under his belt. It seemed like he was starting to get it going more towards the end of the year. USC seemed, and that's another thing why it surprised me because USC looked really good towards the end of the year. They started off so slow, so we knew they weren't going to make the playoffs, but they ended up beating Arizona. I think they beat Oregon. They beat some elite teams going into their final games and going into the Pac-12 tournament.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty surprised that he wants to leave USC. I thought they were heading in the right direction. Maybe he wasn't happy with his playing time, or maybe kind
Aren't they
of.
changing the coach?
I didn't think homie got fired at all. He's a pretty decent head coach.
I thought I saw somewhere where some other coaches talking about
Maybe I
taking.
don't know. I'm not really too keen on the whole situation as far as the head coach over at USC, but I would say if if I had to take a guess on where he would go, I don't think it would be Ohio. Maybe Ohio State, I guess, because it might be closer to he's comfortable in Akron a little bit. I think it could be some situation where I could see maybe in Oregon. Maybe I could see Kentucky. Maybe him going with John Calipari. Maybe North Carolina. I know he posted Duke. He posted a couple other squads. Hell, UNLV, get in the get in the Bronny James sweepstakes, dog. You know what I mean? We'll see what's up. So we'll see. I'll be surprised wherever he goes. My question is I wonder how his dad feels about this. I wonder how Braun feels about this. You know what I mean? Does this affect his status with the Lakers? You know what I mean? He's going into a very important offseason for himself. I don't think he's going anywhere as far as like leaving the Lakers. You do still have Bryce out there playing in high school. You still have his daughter, so I don't really see that happening. I think mostly I think LeBron probably wants his son to have his own experiences and be his own man and kind of get out of his under his shadows. You know what I mean? I know he's kind of you know hinted at maybe playing alongside of him whenever he enters into the NBA, but he seems like he's kind of like backed off that a little bit more and more as the months and the year has gone on after that statement. So I'm just curious over the whole overall effect of between Braun and Bronny and that whole dynamic of maybe them playing together, or, maybe him following him wherever he goes in college and stuff like that. But we'll see, man. Hopefully Bronny makes the best decision for himself, and his career can be as successful as a lot of us hope it will be.
Yeah, I just read it's the Arkansas coach. He's in the lead to be the new coach for USC, so maybe they add a little bit
Okay,
to it.
no, I didn't know homie left, so maybe that was the reason why he wanted to leave USC. So okay, makes sense.
So yeah. So, and as far as Bronny goes, maybe he wants to leave USC. Maybe the other part of it is, trying to get away from the whole, being around his dad and then they in the same city.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he wants to go to another city, get a little bit away from him. Not had the added pressure of his pops, in LA too, and
Yeah.
go to probably still go to a big school, but not as big as US, where he's going to be in USC where the microscope is on him. The microscope's always going to be on Miss Bronny James, but if he goes somewhere else far away from where his dad is, maybe I'm saying that pressure won't be added on to him. Maybe he'll feel a little bit more loose and ball like we have all seen him ball in high school. So,
Where would you like for him to go?
um, shoot, I don't know, man. Uh, Texas. Uh, I don't think he'll go to the East. I don't think he's gonna go that far. Maybe Arizona or Oregon or somewhere like that. Stay on the West Coast.
I would
UCLA.
I would love for him to play at North Carolina. Another school I would like to see him go to, maybe St. John's, play with Rick Pitino. I would love that.
Yeah.
Maybe play over at Marquette with Shaka Smart. I would love to see that. Um, you have the UConn option. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have that. I agree with you. I don't know if he'll go all the way to the East Coast, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like he has posted a lot of pictures of him in different uniforms. I think I seen
Mhm.
one with Ohio State. I seen one with Duke. I think I seen one with Kentucky. I think
Yeah.
I seen one with Texas and stuff like that.
Bronny, don't go to Duke. Don't do that.
Nah, please don't go to Duke, please. But Cooper Flag's going to Duke, and Cooper
This is
Flag is
true.
going to
It's
be
nasty.
nice.
He's nasty.
I'm mad. Cooper Flag. I'm mad. Cooper Flag went to Duke. I was hoping
Yeah.
he would go to North Carolina. That's my team, but
I thought
Cooper
he was gonna
Flag
go
going
to
to be nice.
Kansas.
So Duke gonna be nice next year. They gonna be nice as
Mhm.
hell next year because Cooper Flag is that motherfucker. If y'all have not seen this white boy play, this white boy is cold as fuck. He gonna
Yeah,
be
cool.
nasty. That's a player you're gonna know very very quick who's in college, man. Like college next year has some players playing next year that are gonna have a lot of eyes on them. So
Yeah, Cooper
next year's
Flag
gonna
is
be really
nasty.
good. Hey, I said I would love UNLV to try to get in get in the
Yeah,
final
right, right,
sweepstakes,
right.
even though I know it's gonna be kind of far fetched until they get out of Thomas and Mack. I need UNLV to play in a new arena. I hope they can play at T-Mobile or something because Thomas and Mack. God bless Thomas and Mack. It's a fucking you know, it's one of them prominent locations that will always have the hearts of Las Vegans, but that shit is a rundown arena. They need to do some
Mhm.
upgrade to that shit. That does not help get any type of recruits, man. Just the whole. I wish they would fix all of UNLV's campus because
Mhm.
it's just in a weird location. It's right next to the airport. If y'all don't know, but it's just a
Mhm.
weird thing. But I would love to see UNLV get back to prominent days of us being legit a college basketball team who makes it to the tournament, who has a chance to win a championship. I would love for UNLV to get back to that. Oh, one day it will. I believe one day it will. It's just it's not going to happen not anytime soon.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Kevin Kruger, so
I get it. I get it. I was hoping Rick because there was rumors that Rick Pitino was going to come here, but he ended up choosing
St.
St.
John.
John's. So we need a coach that can just change the
It might
culture.
have been good for Rick Pitino not to go out here.
Nah. Well, look, man. At the end of the day, I know Vegas has its vices and stuff like that, and but Rick Pitino fits. He fits Vegas though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he
Like
does.
Jerry Tarkanian had a unique style to him. You know what I mean? And he's one of those coaches that embodies what college basketball is. Like when you think of top tier college basketball coaches, Jared Tarkanian, Woody Allen, Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, they're all in that. You know what I mean? Jay Wright. Um, you know what I mean? So hopefully we can get back in that direction. You know what I mean? I think Kruger has done some really good things. We have the one young kid who's really promising. We just need
Deedon.
him to be a little bit more little, feed other people. You know what I mean? I think my man
Yeah.
takes way too many shots, but he is the best scorer that we have on this team. So we just need to get more talent. And then I think we can make some. I think we can make a little noise next year, where I think we have a chance to make the tournament at least next year.
Wait, what? Mac Jones likes to rap.
What?
It says
Mac
Mac
Jones,
Jones,
who?
the quarterback.
The
It
white
says
boy?
it said he likes to rap and has a couple of songs.
Yo, hell no. Hey, find those songs and play it on the live, my guy.
Like my man said in Minister Side, it gets no play in my ride.
That's crazy.
All right, man. Let's talk a little boxing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Is Haney versus Garcia card worth $40? Man, hell no. Did you see that card?
Well, it's
Terrible.
actually $80. They're actually doing $80. Pay per view is $80.
Did I put 40? Yeah, that's what I meant. 80. My bad.
Nah, is the card? No, the card is not worth $80.
Is
I've
it worth
always said,
40?
nah, it's not even worth 40. Honestly, I get Haney and Garcia is the main key, but the rest of the card is just this is what I was talking about with boxing. I think their problem with pay-per-views is that it just doesn't have a lot of lust to for a pay-per-view. They need to go the UFC route. You need to get more names that you recognize, where that just brings way more attention, way more excitement, because with UFC fights, man, that shit fills up quick. You know what I mean? They're with boxing, people don't really show up to these fights until damn near halfway through the co-main event. You know what I mean? So, and that's always been the problem with boxing. You know what I mean? They need to get the butts in the seats quicker, and you need to have better fights on these cards, man. So, look, like Devin Haney isn't the most exciting fighter in the world. Like, you know what I mean? I think Ryan Garcia is a pretty exciting fighter, but we all know Devin Haney is not. That's no disrespect to him. That's just his style. It's just the way it is. So that right there, it's not like it's gonna be a top seller, but the rest of this card is just disgusting, disgusting in the ugly way. So I'm not paying the $80. I'm sorry, I can't do it, but I will be watching this fight though.
How are you gonna watch this?
Y'all use your imaginations. I ain't. I'm not saying a goddamn thing. Look, I've always been a big proponent to supporting boxing. Like, yo, if you want to watch these fights, pay for it. But sooner or later, man, we gotta protest them doing these bullshit ass cards, man. Like, yeah, we got the one fight, but the rest of this is you gotta hope that these are gonna be exciting fights. But I don't. If you're not really a pure boxing fan, you're not going to recognize any of these names on the bottom below the Haney Garcia name. So
Charles Conwell versus Nathaniel Gallimore.
I don't know who that is.
John Scrappy Ramirez versus David Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to try this name. Versus Pierre, I don't know. And Arnold Barboza Jr. versus Sean McCombs.
Yeah, nah. I'm good. Like, nah. Like, as I said, we talked about the potential Tank Davis card. Like, that card has promise to the point where if they make the card that we saw, there's people are gonna be in them seats early. They're gonna be in them seats early because just the three. Like, give us a solid 3 out of the 5. You know what I'm saying? Or 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, give us that. You know what I mean? Most pay-per-view cards, most times they have fights around like 4 fights. At least make 3 out of the 4 have some names that you recognize. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think more boxing. I think the way boxing fighters are, I think more of them need to recognize that they are not headliners on a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I respect Benavidez. I think Benavidez is a headliner on a pay-per-view, depending on the fighter. You know what I mean? He's an exciting fighter, but he's willing to be on the undercard of a Tank Davis fight because he knows Tank Davis brings in the numbers. He's going to get the eyes on his fight. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the person that we want him to see fight, especially if he puts on a great show. So yeah, boxing needs to take a lot of looks at the UFC model, man. They really do. Not the pay wise, but just how they build these cards up.
Yeah, for sure, man. Gotta do better.
Are you watching the fight?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch the main
How you
event.
watching the fight?
I'm gonna watch it at a friend's house.
Okay. Well, how what would you rate this? What would you rate this card out of a 5?
Uh, C. And
A C?
I'm being generous.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I'll definitely probably give it like a D minus.
All right, man. Let's do our bet. Surefire bets.
Yeah, you want to go first or me?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Uh, all mine is March Madness
Okay.
picks. I'm going women South Carolina -12
Okay. Okay.
over NC State, and I'm going UConn money line over
Okay.
Iowa.
Okay.
And then I got on the men's side, I'm going NC State with the upset over Purdue money line, baby.
Ooh. Okay.
And then I'm taking Alabama +12.
Okay, cool. I got a solid 3 picks. I got the UConn women +2.5. I think UConn is gonna beat Iowa. I think they'll so I think they'll definitely cover. I got the North Carolina State men +9. I think it'll be a close game against Purdue. I don't see Purdue blowing North Carolina State out. It's gonna be a slow game. I don't know who's gonna win, but I got North Carolina State at least covering. And then tomorrow there's a big NBA game with Warriors and Rockets. I know the Rockets have been losing the last 2, but they still have a shot at getting the Warriors out of the play-in and not making the playoffs. So this is going to be a really big game, for that. But I got the Warriors -4 against the Rockets. The Warriors have been playing pretty good. I think they won their last 5 in a row. So those are my 3 picks going into this weekend.
The betters.
Yeah, shout out to BetUs, man. Shout out to BetUs for support.
Yeah, man. Go to I thought I'd do a second. But yeah, go to our YouTube channel, our Twitter page, click on the link, the direct link, sign up. You will get 125% signing bonus. Put in the promo code JOIN125. You'll get a 125% sign in bonus. It's only for new users, and you get 10% gambling insurance. So
no doubt.
Shout out to them. All right. Who had the better rookie season? LeBron rookie season, or is it Victor Wembanyama? I'm gonna let you go first, sir.
I think it's Victor, and I don't think it's close. He's played less minutes overall. I think he has better. He's scoring more points. He's averaging his rebounds is crazy. Blocks, defensively, he's been an amazing player. Offensively, he had a 40-20 game. I think LeBron had an amazing rookie year, but Wemby is doing stuff that we have not seen anybody in the rookie class has ever done. So I think it's Wemby. I think he's proven he's legit. Should have been number 1. The hype was legit. Should have gotten all that hype. It's Wemby, man. It's Wemby.
Look, I ain't gonna sit up and act like I'm sitting here watching Victor Wembanyama every night, man. I'm not trying to watch the San Antonio Spurs. I'm sorry.
Should Wemby's that boy?
But I've seen the highlights, and he's nice.
Yeah.
LeBron averaged 20.9 points a game his rookie season, 5.9 assists, and 5.5 rebounds. Now Wemby, he's a bigger player, so of course he's gonna have more rebounds. He's averaging 3.7 assists, 21.2 points a game. Now,
on less minutes played too.
Well, does Wemby have the better players around him?
Better players? All right, look, like
I know the Spurs are trash. I'm not
like. Look, I'll say this. Obviously, like the way players were back when LeBron played in 2003. Are the players that Wemby has are better? They're technically better talent-wise, but the team is terrible. They're terrible. They don't have a point guard. A lot of the players in the beginning weren't really trying to give Wemby the ball. It seemed like, they finally are on TV, so they finally wanted to show who they were. You know what I mean? So Um, Obviously, like Wemby has the better coach, with Pop. So he's in a better structure than what LeBron had. I forgot who his coach was when he came into the league. I think it was Paul Silas.
Yeah,
So
it
no
was.
disrespect to him. So overall, man, I would to answer your question, yes, Wemby does have the players around him are better. They are better, but together, they're just as bad, bro. They're just as bad, man. They're really just as bad.
Did LeBron go to the playoffs his first year?
No, they didn't make the playoffs.
That's what I
Nah, they did not.
thought. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and say yeah or nay. I'm gonna defer to you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't. It's been so long since I don't remember LeBron's rookie season.
Yeah,
Uh,
he was
I know.
dominant. He was dominant. He was very
I know he
dominant.
was
Very
I
dominant.
know he was dominant
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because I remember all the hype coming in for LeBron and all the NBA players dogging him, saying he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't gonna last, he wasn't gonna make it, blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
and he went out there and he proved it.
Yeah.
So, um,
Never
yeah.
had a 40-20 game though. He never had a
Mm.
40-20 game though. That was crazy. So, but
But
good
here's
career.
my push. This is my only pushback. My only pushback is that the game was a little different back then. Uh, Not to say that Wimby wouldn't do it back. Like if he was in 2003, I'm not saying that he wouldn't be able to do some of the stuff that he's doing now. Of course he would. He's 7'2" and he's a creative player.
Mhm.
Like, but so is LeBron. LeBron is a creative player in the mode of, at that time we never
Mhm.
saw a specimen like a LeBron James who could he's 6'8",
Yeah.
250, running down the lane like a defensive end coming after a quarterback. Like,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. Like I said, I'll defer to you if you feel like Wimby had the better rookie season. Yeah, I'll defer.
Just definitely just like, he's like, y'all mean height with a Kevin Durant game. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. So, and y'all mean he had a great career, you know what I mean? So, um I understand what you're saying as far as like the different times, the way the game is called. It was a little, obviously it's a little bit more physical.
Mhm.
Even though lately the NBA has been trying to make the game a little bit more physical, they're allowing more physical play out there than they had before. So, but I think Wemby's game would have transitioned
Mhm.
into 2003. Uh, I think it definitely would have. I think he would have put up similar numbers. It might have been a little bit tougher for him, but as I said, man, his body isn't really fully developed yet, and we've seen what this kid is able to do. Like he's not even 20 yet, so and he doesn't even have a real point guard around him. So if he can get him a real point guard, get some pieces that really flow with this team, man, Spurs gonna be crazy legit here in the next couple years, man. So, but both of them, LeBron had an amazing career, and what LeBron has is longevity on his side. You know what I mean? Now,
Mhm.
that's the only thing with Wemby is we are not used to seeing people with that body type staying healthy. So
Mhm.
I hope he does. I hope he breaks the mold with that. That's the only thing that still makes me a little nervous with him. He's still a little frail. As I said, most people with those body frames don't really stay healthy like that. But we'll see, man. Heading in a great trajectory right now with his career. So he'll definitely be a champion within the next like 5-6 years if he stays healthy and continues gets better.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man. Switch it up a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Pros and cons dating a single parent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Well, I kind of brought this up because I saw something on Twitter where there was a gentleman that, there's some cops there, and I guess he found his girl's like ex at his home playing the PlayStation, and he got all mad because um he met her, he took care of her kid, you know, taught the kid how to read, write, do math, fight, all that type of stuff. And then now you have this man that, left you being a single parent. Now you bring him back. So, it kind of just made me put a thought in my head, like, what are the pros and cons in dating a single parent? I have dated a single mom before. I think the pros to it are, in a sense, is like, yo, if you don't want kids, if you don't want your own kid and you want to kind of like experience what it's like to be a father, it's kind of a good way in a sense to understand what you would get into having a kid. Um, I think with the same time with the lady, you would hope that, since her having a kid, she might have slowed down her lifestyle a little bit, especially in like Vegas. She might slow down her lifestyle a little bit. She won't be as partying as much. You know what I mean? She'll be responsible parent, responsible human being and all that. So that, I think that could be a pro, especially if she is. Um, Now the cons, I think there's a lot of cons to dating a single parent. The pressure of, especially like, I think the pressures of, maybe them having the expectations of you being a mom or a dad to this parent, that's a lot of pressure in that. I don't think you should be like a parent style into a child that isn't yours, because that could be a tricky situation. I think the situation of that parent, man or woman, still having feelings for the other parent that okay also contributed to this baby, I think the potentials are still there in a sense. So you investing your time and your love into this person, that potential will always be there for that rekindle situation. um just the whole dynamic of kind of like learning how to not have to step on people's toes. You know what I mean? Like, with my situation, it was like the father was still being a father, but at the same time, she wanted me be a father figure there because he wasn't always there. But at the same time, it's like, well, you already got a dad, so I don't want to step on his toes. At the same time, you are his kid. So I think situations like that could definitely be a con in a situation like that. Not feeling comfortable being uh setting rules and, being that kind of parent or guardian to the point where you got to be kind of strict, and that can be a tricky situation. So
Yeah. I mean, my current situation with my lady now, she's a single
mhm.
mother. She has a son. Um, he's a teenager. Um, but before was with her, I've had past relationships where they've had children, and it was a different circumstance. My ex before the one my girl now, she had a wide range of
Yeah.
kids. You know what I'm saying? She had an older one that was grown. She
Hmm.
had two that was in the mid, like they was like they grown teenage years, like 17, 18, 19. And then she had a daughter that was like 14, and then she had a baby, like not
Yeah.
baby, but he was 3. You know what I'm saying? And that was that was an experience. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And especially when and like I said, that's the thing when you're dealing with a single mother who has a young kid, and the father is in their lives. Like you said, you don't want to step on their toes, especially if they're a good father. The father's in the life, they're actually,
Hmm.
there for them.
Yeah.
But it can get sticky when the mother and the father kind of get into it over
Yeah.
stuff, and then
Hmm.
what I'm saying, over the child. You know what I'm saying, whether certain things that the father's not doing disciplinary wise, or whatever.
Hmm.
And I've always, my stance has always been, I never want to be overbearing. The overbearing, you know, boyfriend, who comes in and try to act like I'm your father or whatever. That's never my stance. I mean, especially somebody like me who has kids, you know what I'm saying, and
Hmm.
they have a stepfather, you know what I'm saying, and he tries not to, even though my other kids live with him, you know what I'm saying, uh, he tries not to overstep his bounds because he knows that they have a father that is there for them. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it's a tricky situation because, like I said, it's context. It's like you said, does the boyfriend is the man or the female still around? Uh, how are their relationship? If it's a bad relationship and they broke up on bad terms and it's toxic and you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? The dude making the girl life's hell because you with her and um whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or she making the dude's life hell because of whatever reason, or
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
the situation could get sticky, man. And it's like I said, you have to have tough skin to be with, like I said, in my situation, I understand it because, like I said, I'm technically a single parent myself. I got 4 kids, you know what I'm saying? So I understand it, but at the same time, you have to have a good. Your mind has to be, able to handle somebody else who has kids on their own and the different ranges of what you have to deal with. Like you said, does the kid is the father in the life? You know what I'm saying? From a male's perspective, is the father in the life? No, he's not in the life. Now you have to have the mindset that you might have to step in now and be a father figure to this child, male or female. And do you want to take that responsibility? You know, so
Let
like
me
I
ask
said,
you. Let me ask you a question. I said you're a father, so you've done this before. I'm not. I don't have no kids. So what's that conversation like when you meet the new boyfriend of your baby mama? You know what I mean? Like, how does that conversation go? What are the things? What are some important things that you think should be discussed when you first have this conversation with her boyfriend and all that type of stuff? Like, give us kind of like a rundown, like you think would be the proper way to go about. You kind of explaining your place, what his place should be. Is there an awkwardness to that initial conversation and meeting him for the first time, knowing that he's with your baby mama, he's going to be around your kids, a situation like that?
well, first off, you should never let what they, whether it be your baby mama, your ex-wife. My situation with my ex-wife.
Mm.
So you should never let that situation mess with you. Like what they got going on is what they got going on.
Yeah,
Because ultimately, hopefully, you've moved on.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, right,
He's
yeah. That's another
she's
thing.
moved.
Yeah.
She's moved on. So you have to get in the mind that you've moved on. So
Hmm.
that awkwardness is out the way because now you're just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? What they got going on is what they got going on. And that's my mindset.
Yeah.
She's remarried and, she's, in her situation now. And, what they got going on is what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as my kids, as long as my kids, and I'm always in the mindset that I know my ex-wife, if anything, and me and her have a really good relationship. We're really cool. Um, it it's almost to the surprise to a lot of some of the females that I've dated, even my current situation. They're surprised how cool me and my ex-wife are,
Yeah. Hmm.
um, and how we co-parent and everything. And it's just when you're dealing with somebody else, that when you're dealing with that boyfriend or husband or whatever, you just got to have lines of communication, what I'm saying, to let them know that at the end of the day, these are my kids.
Hmm.
Yes, you are an extension to you're the step parent, and you're an extension to you're in their lives, so they're looking up to you. They're going to be around you. Like in my situation, my kids are living in another state,
Hmm.
so they're gonna be around him more. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So I get it. I talk to my kids, try to talk to them daily, what I'm saying, just to keep that lines of communication in with them. Whenever they come out here for whatever the summer or whatever, I, try to build this to keep that bond between me and my kids. And I have a really good bond with my kids. My oldest son, he's grown now. So, he lives out here now. So that don't even count now. But,
Hmm.
my younger kids, definitely, um I just keep my kids safe. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me have to fly out there.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure, for sure. I know it could
and
be
that and
tricky.
I'm not, and I don't want to seem like I'm threatening. No, I'm not that. But at the end of the day, those are my babies. And but
Hmm.
I know my ex-wife would never put my kids in harm's way. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
She would never do that. She's too good of a. One thing I'll say about it, she's too good of a mother for that.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
uh, but yeah, You just gotta have that trust, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in a toxic situation, man, just do the best you can, man, because it could get. I've seen situations where it can get bad, man, where the woman tries to get back at the man, or the man can try to get back at the woman because
No
they're
doubt.
not together. Oh,
Hmm.
you with somebody else? Oh yeah, you can't see your kids,
Hmm.
or I'm up in the child support, or you know what I'm saying, whatever, whatnot. They try to do something vindictive,
Yeah.
and it's just not good, and they just putting that person through hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hmm.
So I pray for those who have to go through stuff like that because I've seen it. I have friends who've gone through stuff like that. That's how you got to be careful who you have babies with, man.
That part. That part. Yeah.
Be careful who you have children with, man, because
That's
if you
peace.
as soon
Hmm.
as you see those red flags, get the hell out of Dodge. Do not put a baby in that person or
Nope.
have a baby by that person. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
because it's gonna be bad. It's gonna. I was blessed to have my ex-wife, regardless of how things ended between me and her. I knew she's a good woman, and you know what I'm saying. I know my kids are good. You know what I'm saying. So,
For sure. For sure.
all right, man. Let's talk a little football. You Dak Prescott to the Raiders. Did you read this somewhere?
So, obviously, there's been some people on Twitter who've kind of like made like a Dak Prescott to the Raiders kind of like trade. So I'm gonna read this trade off to you and get your opinion. I personally think this is disgusting, but I'm gonna read it to you. All right. So the Raiders would receive Dak Prescott. The Cowboys would receive Aiden O'Connell, the 2024 picks of the Raiders of number 13, number 44, and number 112. So that's definitely seems like it will be first, second, and third, maybe. Then they'll also receive the 2025 first and third, and the 2026 second. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is way too much for Dak
That is
Prescott.
that is the so I seen this, and I think there was even another. I think there might have been an article, Sports Illustrated or something. I could be wrong, but they also had something similar to this, but it was without Aiden O'Connell. It was just the picks.
Mhm.
I'll say this right here. I do not think Dak Prescott is worth that much. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like now, if this is like a Josh Allen situation, I'm more than happy to do something like this. But for Dak Prescott, I'll give you a first round pick. I'll give you a first round pick just with his capabilities on the offensive side. I know some people have a hate love relationship with Dak Prescott, but I think he's a solid, really solid quarterback that offensively can get you in the right direction. Now, will he take you over the hump? I think he has the capabilities of taking you over the hump. Like we've seen fucking goddamn Carson Wentz and Nick Foles get to a Super Bowl and win. So, you know what I mean? Like we've seen it. We've seen Joe Flacco win a Super Bowl. So I think Dak Prescott is just as good as Joe Flacco. But I just think trades like this are just nasty work, man. We got to stop putting this negativity on the Raiders' air because this is getting ridiculous. Like certain favoritisms with certain teams, like let me ask you something. Isn't it certain years where you'd see the team that people, media, and certain fans they'll give favorable trade scenarios for this specific team. Whether and this year, I feel like it's the Steelers. I feel like it's the Steelers. They want everybody to go to the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? But then there'll be other teams where it'll be like the trade situation where it'll be like it seems so illogical. You know what I mean? Don't you
Mhm.
see that from certain years? You know what I mean? Don't you get that kind of like
Well, of course, they want to push certain narratives on certain teams. You know what I'm
absolutely? You know
saying?
what I mean? But
So yeah,
well, what are your thoughts on that on that fictitious
yeah,
trade that's
that's
that's out there
terrible.
for Dak Prescott?
You get it. I would understand like a first and a third, maybe a
Yeah,
first and a fourth. Like,
yeah, yeah.
nah, I'm not doing all the first three picks
So the
of this
first
year's
three
draft.
the first three picks of this year's draft,
No,
a first round and a second round next year, and then a second round in 2026.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
doing it. I'm not
no,
doing it.
I'm not doing
Nope.
that. I'm not doing it.
Mm-mm.
I'll give up 13, but that's about it.
If it
13
ain't
and maybe a three
if it ain't
third.
Josh Allen, if it ain't Joe Burrows,
It's not Patrick Mahomes. If it's not
well, I
Justin
mean,
Herbert,
Mahomes is
I'm just
Mahomes
saying,
might
bro.
just you might have to give up your next 3
Let me
drafts.
all right. Let me ask you, what would be the trade for Patrick Mahomes if he
You might
ever
have to give up your next 3 drafts, man. 2024, 2025, and 2026.
what
You gotta give them
all
all the
picks?
picks. You had to give up all them picks, brother.
you,
To
you
get
think that would be
Patrick
the trade? You think that
Mahomes?
would be the trade for Patrick Mahomes if
I,
he ever were to get traded from the Chiefs?
I think you talking about if not that, at
It got to
least
be.
six first
I think
round picks.
I think I think for Patrick Mahomes starting this year, if the trade would happen, I think you have to start at four first round picks. You have to start at 4 first round picks. You have to.
Bro.
You have to. You're looking at eventually doing 4 to 5 first round picks, maybe 3 to 4 second round picks, and still a player. It's still a player. Because Patrick Mahomes is, I hate to say it,
He's
he
on
definitely not Dak Prescott.
nah. Not at all. How much would you think it cost to get Jalen Hurts?
That's a good
Would you put
question.
would you put him in the same trajectory as that? Even though he's been to a Super Bowl.
I think the trade scenario will probably be in the same situation, same price range as a Dak Prescott. I think. It all depends on what he does this year. Like obviously he's had one good year. I think at least with Dak, he's had a couple really solid years, where he's shown that he can be an offensive force. He's been one of the better fantasy football players. He's put up MVP style numbers. So the thing with Jalen Hurts is his throwing ability is kind of inconsistent. I think people have no fear in his running ability, but just the inconsistency is in his throwing. I think that affects him. So we got to kind of see it with him with another year. If he can do another great year, I think he'll be on the same market as a Dak Prescott. If he doesn't, then I think he'll be in more a line of like the Jared Goff style trade. Obviously, Jared Goff, he's really good. He's proven that he can be a little bit more consistent, especially ever since he went to Detroit. But there were some years with the Rams where he was very inconsistent, and people didn't really have a high trajectory of Jared Goff. So I could see maybe a situation like that if he doesn't do good.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that Dak Prescott is nasty work.
No, yeah, told you, nasty.
All right, man. Talk about something that is hitting a little.
All right, man. This is all you, brother. This is all you, bro. Give us what happened. Give us the lay down, and then we can go from there.
Now, before I get into what happened yesterday, so people that don't know, the Chiefs and the Royals are connected as far as their stadiums. They share a lease on the land that their stadiums are on. Kauffman Stadium, or the K, is the Royal Stadium. If you watch football, Arrowhead Stadium, Lamar Hunt, and the old owner of the Royals came together and decided, we're gonna lease these properties out, lease our stadiums out over here in Raytown, in Jackson County. Um, Now the Royals, John Sherman, he's the new owner. I think he became the owner for 4 years. Been the owner 4 years now, 4 or 5 years now. As soon as he came in as ownership, he was like, "I want a new stadium. I want a new one. I think we deserve a new stadium, and I want to put it downtown. That's where I want it." Now, do I feel like his rollout was the best? No. He just kept saying, I want a new stadium," but it was never like no official plans, renderings, nothing. It just, "I want a new stadium." That's all we kept hearing. Um, and we knew this was going to affect Arrowhead eventually, because like I said, they're connected. So, but in the meantime, between time, the Chiefs were quiet. They didn't say nothing. They just kind of was like sitting back, letting the Royals do their thing, whatever. It wasn't until probably beginning, probably the beginning of this year or the end of last year, the Chiefs started being a little bit more vocal.
Mm-hmm.
So look, so the Royals, their plan was they're they were trying to build a $2 billion plus ballpark, yeah, ballpark district. The team was pledging 1 billion from the owner, so John Sherman was going to put up $1 billion of his own money, and then the tax sale, the tax revenue was going to come from, be the other $1 billion,
Mm-hmm.
which I think that's reasonable. He's putting up $1 billion, and then you guys pay the rest.
Yeah.
The Chiefs came out and said, "Well, we want to renovate," and their fund was a $800 million renovation to Arrowhead Stadium, and the ownership was going to put $300 million of their money. So the rest of that money was coming from Kansas City. A lot of people weren't happy with the renovation plan. They
Mm-hmm.
thought it was more suited for VIP guys, and uh, you can tell that the Chiefs copied a lot of what they saw from the Raider Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
The little VIP section in the lower decks with all with the food in the restaurant and stuff like downstairs, and the big Titantron up in the air. They
Mm-hmm.
kept referencing the Raider Stadium, and so that's where they was getting their ideas from. Um, Yesterday, uh, they've had the vote for the sales tax, um, and 58% of the people said no. They don't want it. Now, I will say this, and I told Maul this earlier at work. I said that the rollout was kind of lazy. It was
Mm-hmm.
kind of ho hum. It was kind of, they didn't put no effort into it. It was just like, it looked like the Royals was trying to use the Chiefs' success for them to say, hey, they're winning Super Bowls. Let them have their own little, let them take over this whole spot over here. We're gonna go downtown, and we're gonna up it because tourism's gonna be better. And I
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna lie, the stadium does look nice from the renderings. It do look
Mm-hmm.
nice. It's connected. They got a bridge connecting that, and their Sprint Center, uh, their little arena, basketball arena that they had built because they wanted
Mm-hmm.
to try to get a basketball team there. Um, it was nice. A lot of the old school people, and I have family members and whatnot who very old school and
Mm-hmm.
no, don't move the stadium and keep the K there, and they can rebuild right there. And I knew that they wanted to move because Mark Donovan, the president of the Chiefs, he said out of his own mouth that there's no, we have no use of investing in this area. And if you would think that if you're going to keep your stadium here and renovate, wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
you want to invest the area? Wouldn't you want to put some restaurants and some, more hotels in the area? Because all they have over there is a Denny's
Mm-hmm.
and a rinky dink hotel. I forgot the hotel that's over there.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing literally around Arrowhead.
Okay.
Nothing. The
Mm-hmm.
parking is terrible. The only, what I'm saying, you have to get there hours early to get a good parking spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I get the renovation. The renovation was going to have more parking. Personally, I thought that they were going to tear down Kaufman and build a whole brand new stadium
Mm-hmm.
and then just do something else with the old Arrowhead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they just want to renovate. And like I said, I just felt like the rollout was ho hum from both sides. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. They have the lease up until 2031.
Mm-hmm.
I know MLB is talking about they want expansion teams, and there's speculation that the Royals might be on the move,
Mm-hmm.
and the Chiefs might be going to Kansas City, Kansas. I know the mayor or the governor over there, um, Governor Kelly. She's expressed that she's willing to put money into the Chiefs and come bring them down there, and we'll give them whatever they need. And
Mm-hmm.
people in Kansas City, Kansas are like happy right now. They're like, yeah, bring them to Kansas City, Kansas. We're all for it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the Chiefs want that because most of the season ticket holders are are from Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds, but it's going to be a while before it happens. Um,
So, so let me ask you. So, what are the, I guess, percentages you think that the Royals would be leaving Kansas City and potentially being a relocation style team, and the Kansas City Chiefs going to Kansas and getting out of Jackson County?
uh, I think the percentage down the Royals, I think it's a little higher.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put at 60% them leaving out of Kansas City. Period. Not even
Mm-hmm.
just going to Kansas City, Kansas, but going to a
Mm-hmm.
whole another state.
Mm-hmm.
I put it at 60%. In Kansas City, I think they just go to Kansas City. I don't see them leaving. I know the what was it, the mayor or the governor? He in Dallas was talking about, oh, we have enough to keep two teams. Jerry Jones is not letting that happen. He
No,
won't.
there's no chance in hell happening that shit.
Jerry
No,
Jones is not letting that happen. To let Clark
no,
Hunt and them bring that team over there and be the dominant team over there.
nah,
Hell
no
no.
way, no way in hell.
Hell no. So
Um,
I don't see that, but I do see them going to Kansas City, Kansas. And hey, if they got the money to put up for the new stadium,
yeah,
let them have it, man. It is what it is. I just hope what I'm fearful is that if this happens, what's gonna happen to that area? You
yeah.
know,
That's what I was gonna ask you. I was like, what do you think would be the ramifications if the Royals and the Chiefs were to leave that Jackson County area?
it's gonna be a it's gonna depreciate the area, man.
Mhm.
That's all they got out there. Like
Yeah,
that's their attraction. You know what I'm saying
mhm,
in that area.
yeah,
And unless some billionaire comes over there and says, "Well, I'm gonna tear down Arrowhead and Kaufman and build something over here,"
mm,
um, I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know because they might not feel like it's worth investing in that area too. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
So I don't know. Hopefully they work something out. Maybe on on the separate ballot, you see the Chiefs try to do it on their own and try to get Jackson County to put out a better vote.
mhm,
Maybe they add some stuff to the renderings to say, "Hey, we're gonna do this." And also a major point is, the Royals moving downtown. There was a lot of businesses down there
mhm,
that were, they have a thing in Kansas City called KC Tenants. They're pretty much the ones that all the areas and businesses and apartments and homes and stuff.
mhm,
They want to keep everything, original what they are. They were pro out there telling everybody to vote no, and they were happy when
mhm.
everybody voted no.
Yeah,
The only thing I didn't like about Casey Tennant was the one lady who got on there and was like, "Yeah, we're willing to compromise on our terms," but that's not compromising, lady.
yeah, yeah. No, it's not.
That's not compromising, lady. You want everything on your terms. So, but they got what they wanted. Casey Tennant, they got what they wanted. They told everybody to vote no, and a lot of people voted no. 58%. They said no, and you know I know that the Royals and the Chiefs have came out and expressed their disappointment in Kansas City. But at the
Mhm,
end of the day, I personally think that they wanted this because of the way they rolled it out.
mhm. So, do you have any idea when you think that when will be the next steps that when they would take place? You think they'll
I
do
think
another
we
vote later this year?
I think we hear something in the next couple of weeks. What's going to happen from here? Maybe in the next month. Maybe after the draft.
Okay.
Everything blows over. I think we'll hear something. Um, what the next steps are.
Hmm.
As far as Arrowhead and the Royal Stadium, what the Royals are going to do, what John
Hmm.
Sherman's going to do. Um, maybe he tries to go. So maybe he goes to Kansas. Maybe he does go to Kansas.
Yeah.
And work out something with that governor, because like I said, she's definitely going to try to push for them to come to Kansas City, Kansas. And that governor has done a lot for Kansas.
Hmm.
So, like, they got money out there.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
they were in, like they said, and a radio personnel on out there in Kansas City by Fesco,
Hmm.
he said he's like real close to the royal situation. He was just like, that lady can put up $1 billion and not even ask it from the city.
Mm.
So yeah.
Well, it's starting to sound like the way you sound like it's definitely sound like Jackson County better enjoy it these next
Mhm.
5, 6, 7 years that they got
If
left, because it
if they
doesn't seem
don't
like it's gonna be
if they
there.
don't figure something out, if they don't figure something out in these next 7 years. Yeah, yeah,
That's enough time to figure it out. If you can't figure it
yeah,
out within 7 years, then
yeah.
it's
And
for the
and
best.
it's gonna tell me a lot what the Chiefs do,
Hmm.
if they're gonna do another, what I'm saying, ballot, or if they're gonna be like, oh well, y'all said no. All right, we're
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
in Kansas.
yeah. You kind of it's good to be educated on this, because I wasn't really too
Mhm.
familiar on the situation and the areas and the effects of it. So it's good to know. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes more glued to this, because I think this could be very huge for that community
Mhm.
on both sides. So how one more question: how big of a deal would it be for the Royals to leave Kansas City completely?
Um, it's going to be a big deal, but here's the thing, and I know they won a World Series in 2015.
Hmm.
Um, I guess because they have been bad
Hmm.
since they've won the World Series. They've been like bad, bad. Like last
Hmm.
year, they was horrible, and because everybody says it about the Royals, like they get you excited, they look good in spring ball, and they winning games in spring ball. Then they win a couple games, and then by June, we're like, "Where's the Chiefs at?"
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And this year, I know they went out and got pitching. They signed Bobby Witt Jr. to that long contract, which Bobby Witt Jr. is a star. He is. He's a legit star. The kid is really, really good.
Hmm.
They went out and got pitching. That Cole Reagan's kid is
Hmm.
nice. I
Yeah.
mean, he's real nice. They traded for him last year. They got some other pitching. They got the hitting was never our problem. It was always the pitching,
Yeah.
uh, and getting that rotation down. If they can get that mixed right, they
Hmm.
got something over there, because they got young talent over there. They got a lot of good guys that can hit. You know what I'm saying? Vinny
Yeah.
Pascatino. You still got old man Salvi Perez over there. He's probably one of the better catcher hitters. You know what I'm saying, out
Hmm.
there. So it's going to be interesting, man. But I, if they leave, I think a lot of the old school people are going to be disappointed.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the older people will be disappointed when the Royals leave, because they've always been a part of that community, and people have always went out to the K and watched the Royals play. Bad, good, whatever.
Right. Right.
They've always loved to go to the K and watch the Royals play. But right now, the hot hand is the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? They're winning Super Bowls right now, and it's a more consistent. Patrick Mahomes is pretty much the king
Mm.
right now in that city. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Not because of just the Chiefs, but he's a half owner or a partial owner of the Royals.
Yeah.
Um, he owns the women's soccer team out there. Him and his wife. So he's pretty much king out there. So I think they were trying to use that too. Patrick Mahomes, the lore, and all that stuff. And people in Kansas City spoke, and we don't care about none of that.
Mm.
And I think the mix up too, and I'm just listening from out, so don't people who from Kansas City don't kill me for this. But everybody was tripping about the sales tax and thinking that it was a new sales tax. But I'm hearing that it was the same sales tax that they had been taking out of your money. Um, and it's not sales tax coming out of your paycheck. It's the like sales tax when you buy something from the
No,
grocery
okay.
store or the gas station or something like that. Like that's how they was getting sales tax. So,
Okay.
uh, but prayers to the whole situation. Hopefully it gets resolved and they stay in Jackson County. But if they don't, what I'm saying, hopefully they just stay in Kansas City, period. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Whether it be Kansas City, Kansas, or, whatever.
Yeah.
Especially the Royals. Because like I said, I think the Chiefs are just gonna go to Kansas if they do leave.
Hmm.
Um, but the Royals are a little bit more shaky. I can see John Sherman be like, Nashville is calling.
Yeah. 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 Right.
So
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
we'll
see.
see. All right, man. Should player prop bets be banned? This is a very interesting question. Uh, Ever since prop bets, used to just be a thing that you saw in the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
You know, people betting on the Super Bowl. You get the first half, or somebody who's going to score the first touchdown, and who's going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
that's where prop betting first came from. But now
Yeah.
they've made it a more regular thing where you can prop bet all the time, whether it be basketball, baseball, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got prop bets in all the games. How many you can bet on how many points somebody's going to score, or, how many threes they're going to over under 3-point shots and all
Hmm.
that good stuff.
Hmm.
So it can be interesting because, we just heard the situation with Jonte Porter.
Hmm.
Um, and players can manipulate their numbers and hey man, they can put the call in, hey brother, go put 5,000 on me, man. I'm gonna make sure I don't score that many points, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
uh or I won't throw these many touchdowns, I'll drop a touchdown, or it could get real sticky.
Yeah.
Well, I think they should be banned, no, because I mean, this is the price of sports embracing betting.
Hmm.
And we've seen it from basketball to football to all the sports. They have embraced betting. They have embraced promoting betting apps from MGM Bet to DraftKings to FanDuel, whatever, the big companies, William Hill, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They have go full head force of we're helping promote betting for our sports because they know that brings money to the sports. That
Yeah.
brings eyes to the sports. Even if you don't have a team, I can bet on said team or whatever because I'm a sports fan and I like to bet on sports. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
So they know they're bringing betting is at an all time high because people who don't didn't used to want to bet now they bet because it's easier to bet now.
Hmm.
It's on your phone now. You don't have to go down to the sports book with the paper and go up to the booth and tell them, oh, let me get 125, and you know what I'm saying. You ain't got to do all that. Now you can just click on your phone, go through the stuff, take your time, scan through what you want to bet on. It's easier now,
Hmm. Yeah.
it's so many apps now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
um, so do I think they should ban it? No, because you opened the Pandora box already. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And you just got to be on point.
Yeah.
These betting people got to be on point. These leagues have to be on point to see if they see something, just like DraftKings when they saw John Tay Porter and they was like, hold on, something's fishy about this one right here. Because
Yeah.
this dude, he barely gets played. And it was more so the amount of money that was bet on him. It wasn't
Hmm.
what he did. It was more so the amount of money. If the person put $100 on Jonte Porter, I don't think they would have cared. They'd have been like,
Right.
whatever. Somebody bet $100 on Jonte Porter. We'll just put $20,000 on Jonte Porter. Like that's stupid.
Yeah,
Like
that's crazy.
if you're gonna put money, put a G. You can put $1,000. Even $1,000 would have been like, all right, they put $1,000 on there. But 20 G's on a player that's not even like big time. Like
Mm-hmm.
you put $20,000 on Steph Curry, they're gonna be like, all right, somebody put $20,000 on Steph Curry to score this
Right.
many points or
Yeah.
to score underneath this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
But Jonte Porter's like, So just and it's cool that the betting app flagged it, so that lets you know they're watching.
Yeah.
They're not letting this stuff just sweeping it under the rug and letting it be the wild wild west when it comes to prop betting. So, do
Mhm.
I think it should be banned? No, because they've already opened the Pandora box, and like I said, they flagging stuff when they need to flag it, and everything ain't gonna be squeaky clean. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff is gonna go by the wayside. Some stuff's gonna get past some people. But at the end of the day, it's not like it's a whole bunch of stories of people, players manipulating the numbers when it comes to the prop bet. So no, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah. Nah. I agree with you. I think at the end of the day, these leagues have opened Pandora's box. They found ways to monopolize this money. I think when it comes to a situation like this, I think you cannot deny the inevitable that there will, in this situation, like there's going to be a person that's going to try to cheat the system. You know what I mean? You see it in all facets of life. There's always going to be that type of person or that player that's going to take the risk of, maybe fixing the game or betting on themselves or whatever. Like, I just feel like that's something where if you're gonna, sleep in the bed with these um gambling sites and companies and like that, you're gonna have to just accept the possibilities that this could happen. But
Mm,
knowing that these gambling sites and these gambling companies are gonna flag it, and hopefully in a quick manner, to the point where it's not like a long period of time where it's like years before the situation like that would arise, and then it could cause like a big trickle down effect. Hopefully it could be a situation where they flag it pretty early, and then you can handle that situation accordingly, to whatever policy that you may have, or a new policy that could get created for that situation. So even if they were to try to ban prop bets, I think people will just find another route to make these bets. Kind of had like a whole dialogue with some homies about this topic yesterday. And if people want to find a way to make a bet, they're going to find a way to make a bet, whether it's through a legal means or illegal means.
mm,
Some people are just addicted to the lifestyle of betting on
mm,
sports. You know what I mean?
right.
Like they will find a bookie that will go that route. So do I think they should ban prop bets? No, I think they should just find a way to maybe um, handle it more properly, or have a better system to flag situations quicker or whatnot. I'm not really too familiar with the process on how they flag it or what, but you know, I'm sure you could properly educate yourself on that. I'm sure they have the information on that as well.
Mm,
But yeah, I just think there's other ways around it besides banning prop bets. But at the same time, like, you're not gonna sit here and act like people are always gonna be on the up and up when it comes to sports or players in sports leagues at that. You know what I mean? Especially, I could never. It would be kind of hard for me to see a big time player. Obviously, you have the whole situation with Shohei Ohtani going on in Major League Baseball right now. So, you know, we still got to see if he even has any knowledge of himself doing anything right now. It's just pretty much his translator that pretty much got caught. So, we shall see, man. As I said, there's no denying the negatives that can come across of being sports betting, and obviously being in bed with these companies.
yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, man. Talk a little wrestling.
Yeah, man, big weekend.
Now we got NXT Stand and Deliver on Saturday morning, and then at night, then the two nights, Saturday night and Sunday night, we got WrestleMania 40. I'm gonna run through this and give my predictions on these matches. I'm gonna start with Stand and Deliver. That's the NXT pay per view.
Mm-hmm.
You got the opening match, Sean Spears versus Joe Gacy. Sean Spears, he just made his return. He used to be a wrestler named Ty Dillinger on WWE, um, but he was fired. He ended up going to AEW, doing his thing over there. He was
Hmm.
cool over there, did his thing. Now he's back at NXT. Joe Gacy, he's kind of like uh, his character gimmick is kind of like a Charles Manson crazy type deal going on. Um, I got Sean Spears winning that match. I just think that he just came back and they're trying to build him up. Uh, Another big match I got is the for the NXT North American Championship. You got Obi Femi, you got Dijak, and you got Josh Briggs. I got Obi Femi winning. This dude, Obi Femi, he's African, big dude. Dude is a beast.
Hmm. Hmm.
Dijax is a beast too, and some of the moves that Dijax can do for his size, dude is like 6'8", and he moves like a cruiserweight. Like he
Yeah.
flips and all kinds of moves that he does. Josh Briggs is not bad either, but I got Ob Femi. I just think they're trying to push him a little bit more.
Hmm.
You got the Wolf Dogs versus Exium and Nathan Frazier. Um, I'm going back and forth with this only because one of the guys from the Wolf Dogs, Brian Breaker, which is Rick Steiner's son, um, he's been on SmackDown. They've been trying to push him out there on SmackDown, and I can see them losing the belts just so he can be permanently on SmackDown because it's time for him to move up. Like he's been
Hmm.
in NXT way too long. He's done everything that he needs to do in NXT. He's won the NXT Championship belt. He's won the North American Championship. He's won, what I'm saying, and the tag team belts. It's time for him to move up and go to green pastures.
Yeah.
Then you have the NXT Women's Championship. You got Lila Valkyrie versus Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez has finally turned heel. She was a big, huge baby face at first, but now she's on her heel run. She's turned bad. Lila Valkyrie is like, she's the hot, hand right now. But I got Roxy Perez winning because she never officially lost the NXT title. She had to drop it due to injury. So I think they're gonna give her the belt as a heel now. You got Dragunov, Ilian Dragunov versus Tony D'Angelo. I go back and forth with this one. I personally think Dragunov is going to win because it's going to set up another title match from the main event. Uh, but some people think Tony D'Angelo because it's his time, and I'm not mad if Tony wins, but I think Ilian wins.
Yeah.
And then you got the main event: Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams. This will be history because this will be the first time two brothers main event NXT. Um, they come up together. They are real best friends in real life, but right now Camelo Hayes is playing the heel role. I think Trick Williams wins. I think it's his time. I think Carmelo Hayes is going to move up, go to SmackDown. So I think Trick Williams is going to go ahead and beat him, and then he's going to go off to face. I think he's going to face Ilium Dragunov because they've had a past, and I think he finally beats Ilium Dragunov to be the new NXT World Champion. But right now, I think he's going to beat Trick Williams. I mean, he's going to beat Camelo Hayes. This is going to be a great match, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Now on to WrestleMania 40. Um, so night one, uh, I'll just run it down like this. You had Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, who I think they're deemed Dragon Lee. They're deeming him to be the guy that Rey Mysterio passes the torch to. He's a lucha libre, just like Rey Mysterio. He's going against Santo Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio is Rey Mysterio's son. He's one of the bigger heels. Like when I say he's got heat, when he talks, everybody boos. He can barely talk. That's how bad people boo him. That's how
Mm.
bad of a heel he is, which is
Yeah.
good because what I'm saying, he's getting a response. Um, this one's difficult. I can see because Rey Mysterio has brought back the LWO. If you don't know WCW, they had the LWO, Latin World Order. It's comprised of him, Carlito, Zelina Vega, and I forgot the two other gentlemen's name, but two other gentlemen in the group. Um, and you could tell that Carlito was disappointed that he wasn't named in a tag match. So I could see an instance where Carlito turns on Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio win the match.
Okay.
Uh, then you have Black Girl Power showing up at its finest. Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Naomi versus Damage Control, which is Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kara Sane. So the blacks versus the Asians. I think the black women are gonna win because they're trying to push Jade Cargill over. Um, it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. That maybe they'll make them a little group for the time being. Then I could see Bianca and Jade Cargill possibly one of them turning on each other and building a feud that way. Then you have the 6-pack ladder match for the tag team championships. Finn Balor and Damian Priest. They are the tag team champions. You have Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, who's DIY. Um, Miz and R Truth, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I think Miz and R Truth are going to win the tag team titles because they've been pushing it,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been pushing R Truth like crazy because they love R Truth. So I got them winning.
Okay.
Then you got brother versus brother, Jay Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Now they talked about this last year that they wanted to put this match together. That was their dream to face each other at WrestleMania. So they've been pushing this for a long time, ever since Jimmy turned on Jay last year when he faced Roman Reigns and made him lose the match.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they've been boiling this over, and it's finally happened. I got Jay Uso beating Jimmy Uso and putting him over to beat Jimmy. Um, it's going to be interesting post match because I think Solo Sokoa, their little brother, is going to be involved somehow. But I got Jay Uso winning.
Okay.
Then you got Gunther versus Sami Zayn. This match for the Intercontinental Championship. This is going to be interesting because Sami Zayn he's been training with this other guy named Chad Gable who wants the IC belt himself, but he decided to help Sammy out. They had a full on promo on Monday about him trying to push him to the limit so he could beat Gunther because Gunther is a force to be reckoned with and he will slap the shit out of you. uh, I guess I could see this going both ways. I can see Sammy winning, but I can also see Chad Gable turning on Sami Zayn and costing him the belt because feels like this is his opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see a scenario where Chad Gable comes down and causes a match, but I could also see a scenario where Sammy wins the belt and Chad challenges Sammy for the title.
Okay.
And then you got the big women's you got the big women's title championship. Rhea Ripley, who's the champion, versus Becky Lynch. I go back and forth with this, but I got Rhea Ripley winning the match. I think Becky's about to go off. I don't know if she's going to resign. Her contract is about to expire,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. She might be leaving. She might take some time off. I don't know, but I got Rhea Ripley winning keep retaining her women's world championship.
Okay.
And then you have night one, the main event, The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Now, this match here is very interesting because the Rock and Roman wins. The next night for Roman versus Cody Rhodes, it could be bloodline rules, which means anything goes. So the bloodline can come down, the Rock, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sokoa can come down and beat up on Cody Rhodes and whoop his ass, and Roman Reigns retain his belt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I could see Rock and Roman winning this match. I could see so many different scenarios. I could see Seth Rollins turning on Cody Rhodes because they've had beef back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
And he could feel like he felt slighted because Cody picked Roman over him. I can see Solo Sokola and Jimmy Uso coming down and costing them the match. There's so many scenarios, but I do think The Rock and Roman Reigns will win the match, and I have The Rock actually pinning Cody Rhodes
Okay.
because he's been dealing with adversity these past Monday nights.
Hmm.
2 weeks ago, The Rock whooped his ass in the parking lot and back and bloody.
Yeah.
Then Monday, got his ass whooped again by Roman Reigns and The Rock. They was whooping him with belts, and it was bad. It's been bad 2 weeks for Cody Rhodes. So, and I just think this night is going to be more adversity for Cody Rhodes, and he's going to lose.
Okay. Okay.
Now let's go with night two. You got Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament. I got Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits win this match. This is gonna be a quick match, I think.
Hmm.
Then you have LA Knight versus AJ Styles. I'm very interested in this match. LA Knight is one of the bigger stars in the WWE. He gets compared a lot to The Rock in Stone Cold. He's like a hybrid between the two, but the
Hmm.
man is over. Yes, can you tell that he was a big Rock and Stone Cold fan? You can, but I tell you what, the guy is over. The guy is over, and he is a huge baby face in the WWE. I got him beating AJ Styles, and him pushing LA Knight over to the next step of being a champion, whether it be U.S. champion or world champion. Then you have the United States Championship. You got Logan Paul, who's the champion, versus Randy Orton and KO. I got KO winning this match. He's been
Okay.
going back and forth for Logan Paul for months now. I think
Hmm.
he finally gets the dub and beats Logan Paul for the belt. Then you got Io Sky versus Bailey. Now Bailey was a part of Damage Control. She was the leader, but they once they Oscar joined them, they kind of turned on Bailey when talking shit behind her back. She revealed that she understood them when they were speaking in their language, Japanese, and talking shit behind her back.
Hmm.
Uh, and they end up, beating her up. Then Dakota Kai acted like she was down for it, and then she turned on her. So now Bailey's kind of in a weird place because Naomi's been helping her out.
Hmm.
Bianca Belair's not really trying to hear all that shit because Damage Control had been terrorizing Bianca Belair for a whole year. So she's not trying to hear none of that shit from Bailey right now. She's like, you make your bed, you lay in it. You deserve all of the shit that you get. So I think that Jade Cargill and them are going to get involved somehow because I think Damage Control is going to try to get involved in the match. So I think ultimately Bianca Belair is going to help out Bailey, and then she's going to be the world champion.
Okay.
And you got Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Uh, I got Drew winning this match. Um, Drew has went full on heel with the whole CM Punk thing. He's taking credit for putting CM Punk on the shelf. Hurting it, break his arm or tore his pec, or I forgot what he did. I think he tore his pec. But he's going full on heel, and I just think that I think Seth's contract is up too, so I could see him going away for a little bit. We'll see if he resigns, but I do think Drew's going to get the belt.
Okay.
And then you got the ultimate main event: Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. I went back and forth with this match so much. So many people have Roman Reigns retaining the belt. They want Roman Reigns to retain the belt, but you can't have 2 years in a row Cody Rhodes losing this match.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just can't. And my thing was last year when he faced Roman Reigns for this belt. My problem, and it wasn't really up until like a week before the match last year where I was like, Roman's gonna win this match
Hmm.
because it just felt like it was too easy for Cody. It was like he didn't meet no adversity. Nobody in the bloodline was jumping him or beating him up. And we all know if you watch wrestling, like even if you're watching it now, wrestling 1-on-1. The babyface always meets adversity a couple of weeks before the main event. They
Yeah.
always do. They always get beat up, and the crowd is like, "Oh my God, what's he gonna do? What's gonna happen?" You know what I'm saying? Like he's been
Hmm.
getting beat up. How are they gonna overcome the odds? So I just think that Cody has been through a lot since he lost to Roman Reigns.
Mm.
He's been through a whole bunch. So I just think the payoff is going to happen on Sunday. Cody Rhodes will be your new Universal Champion.
Okay, cool.
So
I'm excited. I haven't watched the WrestleMania in a long time, so I'm gonna watch this one. See how it works.
so yeah, check it out. If you haven't been watching wrestling, they've split up WrestleMania because it was too goddamn long to have it on one night.
Mm-hmm. Shit was like 5 hours long, wasn't it? One time.
Way too long, man. Dude, by third hour, I was like, dead. The crowd be dead for the match.
Yeah,
So they had
that's
to split.
hilarious.
So they had to split that thing up, which
Nah,
I ain't mad at.
I'm excited to watch it though.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. So, all right, man. You got any other things? Open conversation.
Nah, man. I think we covered everything, man. It was a
Yeah.
good show tonight.
Mhm. All right, man. Well, let's show some love to Glitch Energy Drink.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Glitch, man. They've been rocking with us for a minute. Uh, Glitch Energy Drink offers a wide range of delicious flavors to suit everyone's taste preferences, whether you're into fruity flavors like Maui Punch, Cherry Bomb, Blue Smurf, or grenades. There's something for everyone. Glitch Energy Drink is not only great for gamers and workout warriors, but for everyday people who simply need a boost of energy. It's a healthy choice that you can feel good about. You can find more information and purchase Glitch Energy Drink at glitchenergy.com. Remember to use the promo code Crystal Mall to get 10% off your purchase and to start enjoying these great, delicious drinks, man. So shout out to Glitch. Use the promo code.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to save your money, people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's healthy.
Yep.
All right. Whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon, whatever you use, Chris Lamar podcast is on there. You can see our recent and past episodes, get caught up on the episodes, check out our content from the past. Also, if you're a first time watcher on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. So when we do our lives on Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, you can jump in the lives with us. You can talk about these topics with us in the comment section, give your 2 cents. Uh, yeah, man, we want you guys to be a part of the show just as much as we are. And we want this show to be a safe space for you to talk your stuff. You know what I'm saying? And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be Spotify, whether it be Twitter, uh, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, did I say Facebook? Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you use, social media platform, follow us at Chris Allen Mall. We will follow you back. Just regular guys who like to talk about sports, music, entertainment, uh, life stuff. Whatever you know what I'm saying, that's your thing, man. Follow us, man. Hit us up. You know what I'm saying? You got feedback, critiques. You got a question you want us to talk about, you want us to bring up. You want to bring a topic up, you know what I'm saying? If we like it and it's, towards the stuff that we like to talk about, we will bring it up on the show and we'll give
Mm-hmm.
you a shout out for credit for bringing up that topic and bringing something to the show. So, like I said, we want y'all to be a part of this show just as much as we are. We want to give y'all the best podcast content that we can give you, whether it be, like I said, sports, entertainment, music, whatever. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Hit us up. All right, y'all. That's all for tonight. Until next time, we go.